Another addresser was Cooper Ketzel, who calls himself an innovative architect. He's also chair of the Tuolumne County Transportation Committee. And finally, Steve Wilensky, supervisor of Calaveras County, who was to speak on moving forward to build a viable community and how to bring sometimes opposing factions together for common goals. Remember, that was that left-right dialectic that I showed, with the left contributing this and the right contributing that, so they come down to sustainable development. He's a master at facilitating that kind of conversation, or at least he thinks he is. Steve Wilensky, the chair and District 2 supervisor of Calaveras County Board of Supervisors, is also the facilitator, this is where I got this from, of the Amador Calaveras Consensus Group meetings. He's a member of the Calaveras Farm Bureau, the Calaveras County Chamber of Commerce, and the Upper Mokelumne? Good, you guys have said it, Watershed Council. This man is working really hard to bring sustainable development to this area of the Sierra foothills. Let's look at his organization, the Amador Calaveras Consensus Group. This is a community-based organization that works to create fire-safe communities, healthy forests, watersheds, and sustainable local economies. Now, who can complain about those words? You can't complain unless you understand the code they stand for. That's why understanding sustainable development is a key to America's survival. The Amador Calaveras Consensus Group, I've said that already, and then he walks down into the 3 E's. It's the same claptrap wherever you go. Environment, economy, and social equity. Yes, the definition of sustainable. In Santa Cruz, we killed the Fire Safe Council that he was talking about here. We killed that Fire Safe Council because what the Fire Safe Council really does, it's the unsafe fire council, and it is the private property eater. These councils work to all ends related to the Wildlands Network. Now, the Amador Calaveras Consensus Group hosted the local stop of the Global Action Research Center's Journey of the Global Arc 2010. Now, the Amador Calaveras Consensus Group, with its mix of public land managers, state-level authorities, forest practitioners, and contractors, and job training and environmental nonprofits, is uniquely positioned to ensure the work taking place on these lands is sustainable, both from an environmental and economic perspective. This was said by Paul Tranzowski, and in a Nature Conservancy memo in October of 2009. Let me give you, though, Margaret Thatcher's, she was quoted earlier tonight, definition of consensus. To me, consensus seems to be the process of abandoning all beliefs, principles, values, and policies in search of something in which no one believes, but to which no one objects. It is the process of avoiding the very issues that have to be solved merely because you cannot get agreement on one way ahead. What great cause would have been fought and won under the banner of, I stand for consensus? Now, Katherine Evatt is a local person, okay, is another member of the Amador Calaveras Consensus Group, and she is president of Foothill Conservancy. You see, there is a coordinated effort to recruit the same sustainable insiders to multiple posts. The enemy is not as big as you think, and yet it has the mindless support of a lot of people, especially recent college grads. Now, the government's legitimate role with regard to the environment is, 1, to maintain a clean public water supply, 2, to maintain clean air, and 3, to prohibit me from polluting your land. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's talk about the Foothill Conservancy. It exists to protect, restore, and sustain for the benefit of current and future generations. This is standard claptrap. I can change the name of that banner, and I can find you a PowerPoint that looks like this from anywhere in the country. They're all saying the same thing. The Foothill Conservancy envisions a future where rural character and scenic quality are protected. It means you can't use your property. Agricultural lands, forest lands, and open space are conserved. What does that mean? It's smooth-talking language in order to pass ordinances that take increasing control over private property. The Foothill Collaborative for Sustainability, so-called FOCUS, regularly invites the Amador Calaveras consensus group to their meetings. These are more of the groups that advance Agenda 21 locally. FOCUS is dedicated to the principles of sustainable living. And this is what their leader says. We will choose the path of will we choose a path of a diminishing reality, or will we choose the other path? The path of broadening horizons, moving towards systems that are sustainable, all-inclusive, empowering, and that honor all life, means humans no more than anybody else, and our relationship with it. Sweet-sounding language, but deviant thoughts. The idea of America is exactly the opposite of the idea expressed in that short little synopsis. Eric Taylor is a co-founder of FOCUS, and John D. Adams is the founder of Earthheart Enterprises. These comrades collaborate within their organizations to advance Agenda 21. Now, Dr. Adams specializes in organizational and individual change support, building a sustainable future. That's a quote from his webpage. Earthheart Enterprises is home to his organizational development and transformation profession. Earthheart Enterprises has, goes to educational issues and to the educational institutions. They are about change leadership development. They want to change the nature of leadership, to fit within the worldview of Agenda 21. Large-scale organizational change planning and support, individual transition adjustment, sustainable consciousness, whatever that means, and sustainable development. Now, most hometown participants involved in sustainable development implementation think they are doing something unique. Others think they are doing something for mankind. Well, they are. They're putting mankind on the verge of serfdom. The scary part is that organizations like this are everywhere, but the battle is always local. The Wildlands Network, in operation here in California, is helping to create and implement policies and legislation that promote massive land grabs. Back to Dr. Kaufman's map, this is just California and Nevada. You can see here the Sierra Strip, solid red. You see, conservation easements are also promoted to aid the fulfillment of the wildlands objective. Stay away from conservation easements. You can see right in here is Amador County. You see the red fingers coming across the state. This is the wildlife corridors, so they can go from my house down here and get up to the Sierras. Season. Without getting run over. You're starting to see freeways designed across the country with animal overpasses and animal underpasses. I just hope they're putting the signs out in the forest directing the animals which paths to take to get there. Now, the Northern California mega region is designed to be comprised of smart growth built along with transportation corridors. These corridors will be multimodal for trucks, trains, and passengers. Now, the San Francisco plus Sacramento has been dubbed the San Framanto region, a mega region encompassing the capital and the Bay Area. The mega region is divided into the core and the sphere of influence. Go to the second map of the same thing. The core is in here. Okay, coming up to Lake Tahoe through one of these little fingers. Bordering around here, this area is the sphere of influence. So the mega region picks the pot where the population is going to be concentrated and then designs the corridor areas, the areas indicated in the yellow map on Kaufman's map, as the buffer zones to the wildland areas. Here, smart growth is to exist in a limited fashion for those who are coordinating and to protect human invasion of the wildlands. So you can see that from the map that Amador County lies within the sphere of influence of the Northern California mega region. The sphere of influence will be highly regulated. Human use will be massively regulated and controlled. One of the ways the sphere of influence will be used is under the guise of historic preservation, designed to advance the common good. And this is the California Preservation Foundation. Their goals are smart growth and sustainable development. Well, there's no wonder that the organization that's worked for decades now, taking people's private property, telling them what they can and can't do with it, is part of the globalist maneuver. Now, some of the sad news. The American Chamber of Commerce is an NGO. Remember, NGOs are accredited by the United Nations for purposes of implementing Agenda 21. The American Chamber of Commerce and the American Planning Association, okay, that's another NGO, they're the guys who run your planning departments, are both playing a role in the Northern California mega region and its sphere of influence. This is from the American Chamber of Commerce. They're going to vision the region. That's a new form of government, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to pose a green building designed to emaciate the middle class. And they're going to organize around sustainable development best practices. They're developing the capacity for regional leadership. We see locally, Calaveras County Chamber of Commerce, they want to achieve sustainability. The Nevada City and El Dorado County Chambers of Commerce are also full supporters of sustainable development.